So, for what it's worth, and as if we didn't already know this was going to happen, Wayne Couzens has now been charged with a further two indecent exposure charges. Now, I get that the victims want to see some justice, but what justice are they really going to see in this case when a cretin's already serving a whole life sentence? It's not like they will add to the end of it, and if anything, will get him to serve it concurrently. Now, the two new offences are said to have occurred on June the 9th, 2015 and November the 13th, 2020. As with his other offences, he was a serving police constable at the time. He is now due to appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on September the 2nd to answer the new charges. Although he probably won't appear, it will probably be a video link. The new offences are said to have occurred in Kent and in Deal. Rosemary Ainsley, head of the CPS's Special Crime Division, said, "The function of the CPS is not to decide whether a person is guilty of a criminal offence, but to make fair, independent and objective assessments about whether it is appropriate to present charges to a court to consider." And then to prosecute the person, which is a bit of a conflict of interest if your job is not to decide if someone's guilty and then try to prove them guilty. She added, "The CPS reminds all concerned that criminal proceedings against Wayne Couzens are active and that he has the right to a fair trial." So, although Couzens is going to spend, at the very least, the majority of the rest of his pathetic life in jail, more money is being spent on trying to prosecute him for crimes that he won't ever be punished for. As I said, I get that victims want to see justice, but how much justice can you get from someone who is already going to be spending the rest of their life in jail? It seems to me at least like a waste of money, and that comment by the CPS, I mean, is it just me or does that sound a bit contradictory? The function of the CPS is not to decide whether a person is guilty of a criminal offence, but to make fair, independent and objective assessments about whether it is appropriate to present charges to a court to consider. But then by being the ones to prosecute that person once they have decided they are guilty certainly doesn't seem to fit that statement from Rosemary Ainsley. I don't know, maybe I'm misinterpreting something here. It's a Saturday, I don't usually do Saturdays, so maybe my brain's not in gear, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem to make much sense to me.